It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Tuesday show, July 11, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Matt. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. However, you are watching or listening to Woodward Sports, we appreciate you. Braylon Edwards on a Tuesday. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, Ryan. Ermanni, I appreciate lunch today.
Oh, baby, I got you, man.
Really I couldn't get over last weekend. I thought I was going to get a piece of that sandwich. I didn't. So
Ain't no way you were getting that sandwich last week.
I appreciate, for those of you out there that know what was going on last weekend, I walked into the studio. Ryan has one of the Caesar chicken wrap, which is really good, over Birmingham Roast, right next door, connected. Had a piece, and he always offers me a piece. Here, Maz, they always very, very, very nice. They always offer a sandwich. I'm not hungry. I'm sorry. I always say no. This one particular time, I thought I was definitely hungry. I thought I was going to get offered the piece. He didn't even offer me a piece, but you know what? He made up for it today. He got me my own sandwich. Ryan, I appreciate you, love you like a brother. It was satisfying.
And you added bacon to it as well.
See,
man.
now you put that out there, man. That wasn't for everybody.
I'm not a bacon on a sandwich guy. I think I might be the only guy.
What?
I don't like bacon on burgers. I don't like bacon on sandwiches.
Are you serious?
I don't like bacon on pizza.
Wow.
I like bacon in the morning.
I'll tell you like this, man. I saw no pork on the application to Nation Islam. I turned it down. I was like, y'all can have this application back, so I need to eat some pig. Tom Mazawey, I say hello to you, Maz.
Hello.
And I'm gonna argue on your behalf. My rant right now. Tom Mazawey, how you doing over there?
I'm good, fellas. Good to be here. All-Star Day. I love it. I watched the Home Run Derby last night. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about my viewing a little bit later. What I watched, how I watched it.
How's your jersey there? Whose jersey you wearing? Pudge?
This is from Detroit.
Yeah.
This is Pudge. I got my number 7 on the back. Pudge Rodriguez almost won Home Run Derby that year, but Bobby Abreu beat him out.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
Well, speaking of the Home Run Derby, Maz, and you said you'll speak your view later, I'm going to go on a little bit of rant here, and I apologize, this is on your behalf. We talked about the Home Run Derby. Last night, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. wins the Home Run Derby. This is the first time he's appeared since his loss to Pete Alonso, 2019. If you got a graphic of that, throw it up there. I know I jumped ahead about that. So Vladimir Guerrero comes back. It's the first time a father and son have both won a Home Run Derby. His father winning in 2007.
We got that picture, too.
Got that picture as well. His father won in 2007. So, all in all, listen to this. It's a great moment. It's a great moment. When he won in 2007, he actually hosted his father's trophy. And then to be able to hoist his own last night. So, amazing moment. MLB got this moment right. But here's where they didn't get it right, Ryan and Monty. For a whole year, 365 days, as it relates to people who like the Home Run Derby, MLB fans, myself included, even you wanted to see Pete Alonso versus Julio Rodriguez. That was what we wanted to see. Julio Rodriguez, a Seattle Mariner. The All-Star game is at T-Mobile Park. It's in Seattle. It's all about him. Even had a national commercial last night. National commercial. Haven't seen a Julio Rodriguez national commercial.
Great young player for the Mariners.
Great young player. He's also humble. He's also in the community. Something about Seattle, they work well, like Russell Wilson works in the hospitals. He's doing a great job there. But that was the draw. It's Julio Rodriguez. 42,000 people packed that arena. Half of that from Vancouver, the neighboring city in Canada. 42,000 people to see Julio Rodriguez in the finals. But where did the MLB put it? And they gave us an excuse. The seeding was done by how many home runs you had, and also where you were at that very moment, because that's why Lewis Robert II and Pete Alonso, they had the same amount of home runs, but I think Robert had more in the month of June. Who cares? Who cares about the seeding? Who cares how you had to line it up? Julio Rodriguez is not only supposed to be in the finals, at least go second. At least go second. Maz, what happened last year with Julio Rodriguez? He banged out 40-something plus, 60-something plus home runs, hit the most home runs, and he got bounced because he went first. He got bounced because he went first. It's not fair. It's the dumbest thing ever. You got a guy in his home park who, at least if it's Vladimir Guerrero and Julio, I'm down for that. I get to see Vladdy. I get to see Julio. If it's Pete Alonso and it's Julio Rodriguez, I really get to see what I want in his home park. You think all those people were there to see
Randy Arozarena?
And I love him to death. When he played for Mexico in the WBC,
See, I watched
he was great. I see you. He was great in the WBC. He's not a home run hitter. He's not a home run hitter. I'm not trying to see Ichiro versus Aaron Judge. Like, I had to wait 3 hours. Well, I didn't have to wait 3 hours because he was bounced after the first round. I had to wait 3 hours to watch Randy Arozarena go against Vladimir Guerrero, who was tired, Junior, who was tired. It was over. He's not the same power hitter that he was 4 or 5 years ago. Come on, MLB. You had one job. People still tune into the Home Run Derby. And Maz, yes, it was fun to see 41 jacks by Rodriguez in the first round. It was fun to see the underdog, Randy Arozarena, make it to the finals and have a chance to win. It was great to see him go against his brother, in Adolis. It was great. But they got it wrong. You're supposed to have Julio at the finish. You know who else was in attendance last night? And he also passed out the Awards trophy. The only person to win 3 MLB home run contests. You know who that is?
Ken Griffey Jr.?
MLB got it right with him. Ken would always bat last. They knew how to set it up. You gotta sell the theater. This is why nobody watches MLB outside of baseball.
Julio did bat last in the first round.
The second round. The second round. You gotta make sure.
Listen.
You gotta make sure Julio gets it. I'm not saying he has to win, man, because that would be cheating. I'm just saying you gotta do whatever you can to make sure he goes to the second round. You can't tell me that they can say something like, hey, you know what? Whoever has the most home runs in the second round, they get to go last. That wasn't hard. Just ensure I get Julio to the finals. It's the All-Star game. It's not real. It's the All-Star game.
My cousins were there last night. They're in Seattle. They live in Seattle. And
Am I wrong?
I'm texting back and forth with them, and I'm like, how did Julio get the 7 seed? I mean, he's not a 7 seed. He's not. They got to come up with a better way to seed these guys. But my favorite part was Luis Robert against Adley Rutschman. Adley Rutschman
had the best performance.
Let me tell you that was a shame that Robert knocked him out.
We've never seen that in the Home Run Derby, have we?
No, then he hit the other side. His dad's throwing him. The dad's pitching to him. He hits from both sides of the plate, and he winds up winning. And he is a superstar for Baltimore. You're lucky. The Oriole fans are so lucky. They got a nice, great young team to root for. And if he could have survived that round, I think he would have been dangerous going forward.
They got to change something, because the fact that he didn't get a second chance, like I think you have to hit 1 440 and you have to hit another one. What is it? It's 2.
You need two shots at 440s.
Yeah, you need 2 440s
to get a minute extra.
So that alone tells you need to keep some people out of the deal. There's no reason.
No way Mookie should be there.
Garcia should have been in it.
No,
no way Mookie should have been in it. I mean, Randy Arozarena surprised the hell out of us, but he shouldn't have technically been in it. You got to change something, because I mean, at the end of the day, I watched for 3 hours. Now, granted, Julio was out way before the 3 hours. I watched all night to watch Randy Arozarena versus Vlad.
It was a great match.
I mean, yeah, he almost came back and won, but it's not what I tuned in to watch.
He would have won if he hit 1 home run for 440. He would have had an extra 30 seconds, and he would have won easy.
It ended up being a moment at the end where you're like, oh man, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna hit enough? Like, that was fun, but the overall premise, the reason why the T-Mobile aired a Julio Rodriguez commercial right after the Home Run Derby or during it was because Julio Rodriguez was supposed to go to the finals. So I mean, it was cool.
I thought it was very fun last night.
I couldn't care less about the Home Run Derby, and one of the reasons why I couldn't care less about the Home Run Derby is stupid stuff like the brackets. Just tell me who hits the most home runs throughout. That's one. And the second thing, I thought the broadcast is terrible.
It's horrible.
I think ESPN's broadcasters are terrible.
But guess what?
And the StatCast, I don't want the StatCast.
It was
stuff.
great.
I know, but that's,
they had the great announcers on ESPN too.
I know, but listen, the Manning cast is a fun little cast to dip into, But I'm not watching an entire Monday Night Football game listening to the Mannings. It's just not.
No, but these guys are talking about the Derby. They're not talking about their wives.
I understand, but I understand.
Good call, man.
But I just want the regular announcers on the main channel proper. And maybe I'm getting it wrong. I dipped in. I didn't care for it.
Carl Ravitch stinks.
It's
Eduardo
terrible.
Rodriguez stinks.
It's terrible.
They are terrible. Sunday Night Baseball is in the trash.
And you know, I'm one of those guys that grew up on Joe Morgan and John Miller. Those guys, those voices, whenever you're scrolling for something on a Sunday night, it doesn't matter what game it is, but you know the voices that you're going to get in Johnny Miller, in Joe Morgan, and there is something soothing about that. And maybe I'm being totally crazy here. That's what I like, and that's why I don't. One of the reasons why I don't care about this.
Something else they got to add, like definitely got to get a better announcer next year. You know, and Maz, that would be your field of expertise.
Yeah, I got the guy.
But okay, so let's mix your guy. Who's your guy?
The guy that was on the StatCast, Kevin Brown. He's the voice of the Orioles.
Okay.
And he is like Kevin Burkhardt of Fox. He's KB as well. Kevin Brown. Phenomenal. Don't forget, you still got Joe Buck waiting in the wings.
So that's what I was going with. I was trying to figure out a guy. You gave me a guy that was like your Kevin Burkhardt.
Yep, Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown. Now you need a home run hitter. Like if you're gonna bore me with these two guys, at least give me somebody that jacked up dingers for a living. Like I'd rather see you get Big Poppy, sit him on the desk, give him a couple of those tequilas he was drinking last year at the All-Star game, and let him be the analyst. At least he knows about the home run derby. You had two guys, one that were boring as hell and didn't know anything about hitting home runs as a player. Now they knew it from the analytical standpoint, data and blah blah blah, yakety smackety. Come on, man. You couldn't have Big Poppy up there or A-Rod or somebody else that's familiar. Hell, I would have listened to King Griffey Jr. for an hour.
Well, you know, Matt Broder, our guy in the chat, mentioned the name, but I was going to mention it too. I woke up, the very first thing I saw on Twitter, who was trending? Chris Berman.
Love Boomer.
Oh,
Chris Berman was trending on Twitter. How many times
That's
have
what
you
DJ
said?
Tom too talking about.
It's a great example of be careful what you wish for. How many times the Monday or the Tuesday after the Home Run Derby do you say, can you please get rid of Chris Berman? How many back, God!
Yeah.
How many times can you do that?
But he was so good.
Please get rid of Chris Berman. And then they finally get rid of Chris Berman, and you're like, please bring Chris Berman back to do the Home Run Derby.
I love Boomer.
I know.
I love Boomer.
I will say this though. The way they do this new setup, Ryan, like the way they have all these extra innings. I mean, Julio Rodriguez had 41 jacks in one round. That is a lot of times for Chris Berman to be like way back. It's
well, even
under the
that,
new format is too many.
Even that, I don't like the fact that he hit the most home runs and he didn't even advance to the final.
Right,
2 years in a row.
Yeah,
Listen,
I mean,
he didn't play it smart.
you gotta stop after.
He
but
didn't play it smart.
It's a guessing game that you eventually have to make because you hit 41 home runs in one round. You're gassed.
Yeah.
You are gassed. There's no way you're
Vladdy
making
Guerrero said he couldn't even walk at the end
it.
of the
Should be a
night.
cumulative home run.
But once again, it goes back to my rant in the beginning. It's about the freaking seedings. The only reason why he went that hard in the first round, Ryan Ermanni, Maz, who was he matched up against? Who did he know was coming behind him?
Pete Alonso.
Pete's a two-time champ.
Polar bear.
Pete almost caught him last year. He was fighting for his life. That's why he hit so many jacks. If he was going against anybody else, except maybe Vladdy, but even then, he's tapering off after 32, 33. Like, because I haven't seen anybody beat his mark of 30, 34 in the regular 2 rounds. So if he would have just done 34, he'd been all right. An extra 7. It's the seeding, man. You can't put Pete Alonso and Julio Rodriguez together in the first freaking round. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
The Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight. Are you going to watch? And do you care anymore? We always talk about these All-Star games, baseball being
Best All-Star game of all the sports.
Of all the sports.
Hands down.
I got some,
I love
trivia
it.
for Maz.
But do you like it
Did you get anything at Fox today? Any packages?
0
Come
packages.
on, man.
0 packages at
No
Fox.
packages at Fox?
0 mentions of the All-Star Game
Really?
tonight throughout this morning. Just feels like a dud of a game. And maybe, it just feels like a dud to me, but we'll talk about it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, Looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac? Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years. Find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new road.
Find them.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located in downtown Detroit at the Cambria Hotel. Coming soon, this is the place to be. Look, it's been hot, it's been humid a little bit this summer. Why not ease into some cool 13 simulator fun at 5 Iron Golf? Drinks, restaurants, everything will be a part of this package. And if you mention promo code Woodward, you get half off the first time there. 5 Hour Golf in the Cambria Hotel, downtown Detroit. It's the new place to play, practice the way you want to.
WoodwardSports.com. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Let's see if we can get to over 50 likes by the end of this segment. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Coming up on 45,000 subscribers on this platform, less than 400 subscribers away from 45,000. Tom Mazawey.
I'm having it out with one of our chat guys, Paul Thomas. Paul's like, Joe Buck, he'd be washing cars if it wasn't for his father. And
Wrong.
I wholeheartedly disagree. The great Jack Buck, one of my top 3 announcing lovers. Joe Buck is almost equal to his dad as we speak. Not only does he awesome at baseball, but he's phenomenal at football. Joe Buck, man, he's one of the top broadcasters of all time right now.
One caveat to that, Matt, if I could.
I agree with whoever that was in the chat.
One caveat to that.
I've always told you
Paul
that.
Thomas.
I think Joe Buck is phenomenal and one of the best in the last 30 years to do it. Would he have gotten that opportunity if it wasn't for his dad? You never know. So you can't say that. That doesn't mean he didn't stay.
He was with his dad almost at every game, sitting by his side.
I understand that, but the point is if it wasn't for his dad, there's a lot of great broadcasters.
Well, how did Dan Dickerson get the job?
Well,
I'll tell you how he got it. The Tigers happen to like him. Ernie Harwell kind of took a shine to him. We all went there one day, and Dan sat next to Ernie, and it just worked. That's how you get a job. Mm-hmm. And if you're not good, you're not going to be there. How did Joe Davis get the job at Fox?
Well,
from Michigan here, upstate in northern Michigan.
Maz, I understand that, but all I can do is take this one example for what it is. And yes, Joe Buck is one of the greatest broadcasters of the last 30 years. If it wasn't for his dad, would he have been the St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster at 25 years old? I just don't know the answer to that question, is all I'm saying.
There are a lot of 25-year-old guys that are calling games across the country right now.
Not in the major leagues.
Yes.
Who?
In the major leagues.
Find me one.
I'll find you a few.
Okay, find me a few.
You got it.
That'd be great.
I will say this. I'll stay out of you guys back and forth, but I will say this. A lot of guys get jobs because of their fathers, and a lot of guys keep those same jobs because of their father. I've been watching Jeremy Schaap on ESPN for the last 20 years, and he's nobody's Dick Schaap.
He is great.
I understand that, but he's nobody's Dick Schaap.
Maybe he's not his father, but there aren't too many reporters better than Jeremy Schaap.
Jeremy
Exactly.
Schaap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yes. I guess I don't know what you're saying.
You said there are too many reporters better than Jeremy Schaap?
No, I'm saying there are not too many reporters better than Jeremy Schaap.
I'm simply saying he got a job because his father, he maintained the job. I thought he was just okay. I don't think he's...
I think getting the job and maintaining the job are two different things, to me.
Well, Chip Carey got it, because of his grandfather and his father.
And he's been fired a lot of different places.
And Chip is an excellent broadcaster.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Hey, look, I know when and when not to debate.
Yeah. I just I do think getting a job and maintaining a job are two different things.
It is, but at the same time, maintaining it is much easier if your father is the one that got you the job.
Back to the thing at hand. Let me ask you guys if you're surprised by this. I mean, we're broadcasting to a sports audience, okay, and just maybe just an indication of where the sports climate is. Now, I make fun of the fact that I couldn't care less about the Home Run Derby nor the All-Star Game. I used to love them both. I don't anymore. 118 votes, small sample size, but 118 votes. Did you watch Home Run Derby? Simple yes or no answer. 78% of a traditionally sports audience says no. What does that mean to you?
No one cares about baseball.
Mm-hmm. Seriously.
No one cares about baseball.
Nobody cares about anything other than football. I firmly believe that.
Basketball has a huge following. I mean, it's a dead
in China.
Here. Here. I mean, in China as well, but here too.
But even
just look at the money and look at the revenue. Like look at the money players are allowed to make. There's no secret. The reason why Dame Lillard, when his contract is over, will be $463 million. The reason why he'll be $63 million per year next year. The reason why any of these contracts. I mean, you were just talking about Beef Stew just got extended for 4 years. 6 years, $12 million. It's because the money they are making on the NBA is just ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. So they're allowed to do that for TV deals. How are they allowed to have that money through TV deals? People are watching the NBA. Whether you're not or not, people are watching this sport, and it's also global.
I put out a tweet this on Sunday, I think it was. Ellie Dela Cruz of the Reds.
It's my new favorite player.
Look, I feel sorry for you if you're not watching baseball. If you're not watching this kid, or if you're not watching Shohei Ohtani, this kid stole 3 bases in 2 pitches, including home plate. He is electric. There are a lot of electric players in the majors. Yeah, we don't have a ton of them here in Detroit. We do have a kid named Riley Green who is on his way up there. There are other guys too. I like the minor core that we have here in Detroit, and it's going to get better. It will get better. It has to get better. It can't get worse than it's been. I really believe that you're selling it short. The game has been sped up. It's not boring. You're not thrown over to first base 10 times. You're only allowed 2 throws. Most of them don't even throw to first base anymore. You got more stolen bases. The bases are bigger. There's still fights in baseball. There's great pitching.
Nobody's fighting in baseball.
There's great pitching. Hey, look, you don't like the game, you don't like the game. I feel for you.
But I'm not denying that I love the game. Like,
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the camera.
Well, the camera is me because I'm looking at you. I'm for the proverbial you. I mean, baseball is a fun sport. It's just not the same. Like, baseball is an interesting sport.
Why isn't it the same? It's better.
It's not, because usually when you spend money in other sports, when you spend money and make a team, like, it works. It's fun. You don't spend the most in sports to have a team that is 18 games below first place. Your team like the Yankees, they're 3rd on payroll. They suck too.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
that's their fault.
And I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying where all the stars are, it seems like the team sucks. The MLB doesn't do a good job with their stars. Whether you give me the excuse
that's always been true, at least for the last 25 years.
Steroids.
Yeah.
Like, they did a great job until steroids. Steroids, because all the sponsors, they backed up. But you give me the excuse, Mike Trout. Oh, Mike Trout. The reason why nobody likes about him is because he's a private guy and he's shy. And if you're paying a guy $500 million, I'm going to make this guy not be shy. Like, if I'm paying you $500 million, your job is to take the brand and run it. The MLB just hasn't done that.
I want to ask the chat. What are your ages in the chat? If you got time, put your name through and give me your ages. I want to see the ages of the people that really don't like this game.
It's not that people don't like the game. I'll speak for myself, and I say this all the time. I think because locally here in Detroit, our teams are so bad. That
Ryan, you have MLB Network. You don't have to watch the Tigers.
I understand, but I think I'm less interested in baseball if the Tigers are bad. When the Tigers were good for a 10-year stretch there, I was watching Baseball Tonight every night. I was watching a Major League Baseball game every night when the Tigers were good. When the Pistons were good, I was watching NBA every night. I never missed that Thursday TNT doubleheader. Never missed it, not even 1 week. It was must-see television to me. They became television shows because that was a part of a story. And again, I'll go back to this. Call me crazy all you want. COVID damaged sports fans. You took the game away. You took hockey away. You took baseball away, and you took basketball away. That absolutely damaged a fan base.
But they put on the older games, which I absolutely loved.
Tom, that doesn't. What do you mean they put on older games?
They put on retro games. I always remember every night there was different games on every channel.
Yeah.
Retro games like what? Like, Maz, look, you're a unique fan. And I mean that in the best possible way. Like, anything that happens, you can find a way back to what made you fall in love with the sport, and it sticks and it's cool. Like, an 18, 19-year-old doesn't want to watch retro baseball. Ryan's 44, he doesn't want to watch retro baseball. I'm 40 and I don't either.
Yeah.
Like, I want the MLB to continue to grow this brand of baseball. I want for this brand of fan, for the young kid. Like, it's either strikeouts or home runs nowadays. There's no longer stars between those lines. There's no more Ichiro, guys that are just getting on base or understand how to hit. We were just talking about Tony Gwynn in the freaking track, but before we came to work, it's no more of that. You either hitting a ton of jacks or you striking out a lot.
And I think too, and
There's
again,
a guy that's hitting 390, Luis Ariz in Florida.
I think this season of baseball is probably the most fun season we've seen. Couple of months. I mean, we're just in mid-July, first half of the season. This is probably one of the most fun first halves of baseball, just because of all the action, the pitch clock, the Dela Cruz player in Cincinnati coming up. The Shohei Ohtani might have had the best first half of ever any player in the history of baseball. And I think that's all fine and good, but you need that to continue, because just like the strike in '94, and it took 4 years to the home run chase between McGwire and Sosa. It took 4 years when you took baseball away to get baseball back. We're still in that 4-year window. I do think COVID absolutely smacked baseball fans in the face. You're not playing games, number one, and then you're playing games in empty stadiums. I think COVID is equivalent to the strike of '94. It's going to take some years for people to care again, in mass anyway. That's just my belief. I could be totally off.
I think you're a phony fan if you think a strike would chase you away from a game. I like those people that always say, never watching baseball because of the strike. I'm never watching baseball because of the steroids. I'm never watching baseball because those guys cheated.
You need those people, though, Maz. You need those people.
I don't need them. If they don't want to watch it, that's their loss.
I understand that, but the leagues want them. The leagues want everybody. And I think
it's cheap to go to a ball game.
There is such a disconnect between players and fans, too. I mean, there just is.
What's a football game cost? Minimum $150
per.
You can walk into a baseball game for $10.
Yeah.
The difference is with football, if you don't watch, if you don't go, if you don't attend, if you don't watch Sunday night or Thursday night, you feel like you missed something. Like, that's what the NFL has done. They put themselves in a situation, man. If you don't watch Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Thursday night, if you don't watch the countdown, if you don't watch the recap, if you don't watch NFL tonight, you feel like you missed something, because all everybody's talking about is football. So you gotta, I gotta play fantasy. I played fantasy last year because everybody plays fantasy. First year I ever played fantasy. If it's football related, you feel like you gotta know, because it's the cooler talk, it's the beauty salon talk nowadays. Women are talking football. Baseball, I can mix the next 3 World Series, and guess what? Life will smooth roll on. Life will smooth roll on. With football, you feel like you gotta watch it. because you're going to miss something.
And I think the NBA is
getting there.
Is getting there as well because
at least May through June.
Well, let's talk about that coming up next because this league is depending on Victor Wembanyama to be the next LeBron James because
you got to pass it off to somebody.
We are at a crossroads in the NBA when it comes to superstars as well. Talk about that coming up next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 9 years. And can I just say this about Guardian Alarm?
What's up, brother?
I had a health situation in my family over the last couple of months. Guardian Alarm, the fine people at Guardian Alarm sent my family member flowers to the house.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
They sent him to the hospital, didn't get him at the hospital, tracked him down at the house, and sent him there. And I want to thank everybody, Jason and everybody at Guardian Alarm for their kindness during that time. You want to talk about special, man. That is incredible stuff.
That's family.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, technology backed by people, customized solutions from real experts. Love everybody at Guardian Alarm. They are family, and they will protect your family as well. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Hey, stay out.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. However you're watching, maybe it's YouTube, maybe you're listening on Spotify. Thanks so much for doing that. Whatever the case may be, hit the like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports. And if you want one of these shirts, Woodward Sports, our shop, Woodward Sports. Let me do that one more time. Woodward Sports.
The infamous Kelly Green.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Woodward Sports.
Nice. Is that your car behind you? It's a nice truck behind you.
No, not my car. That's a nice car.
That was your truck.
Car.
I thought you were flexing on it.
Guess we're just talking about sports fans and where your fandom is, and nobody seems to be watching the All-Star game. Nobody seems to be caring about the Major League Baseball All-Star game tonight. And the NBA, just look, people are getting paid. Isaiah Stewart, 4 years, $64 million. I mean, that's a separate topic in and of itself. Just silly money getting thrown around in the NBA. So it's coming from somewhere.
TV money.
Coming from TV money, coming from China and all the different countries that it's a global game. The NBA, whether it's France, whether it's China, whether it's the United States, Mexico, Germany.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's a global game, and that's where the money comes from. And I'll tell you, they need a star, though, because they're entering a phase where the NBA has had stars up and down this game for 40, 50 years. From Magic and Bird to Isaiah. Well,
Yeah.
even if you want to not include Isaiah, to Michael Jordan, to Kobe Bryant, to LeBron James. I mean, that's 50 years worth of greatness. Elites, top of the game, best the game has ever seen kind of players.
But it's always 100%, and it's always been enough to continue the game. It's always been enough to, as you're alluding to and going in the right direction, of being in the right hands. Like I just wrote, I'm just thinking, as you said it last, I'm like, these guys are getting older. I mean, I just wrote some names down. LeBron's in year 20. KD's in year 15, 16. Steph's in year 15, 16. You look at Russ, it's almost over for us. James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Chris Paul, all these guys are getting old now, but they've always had somebody to, all right, here you go, KD. Here you go, LeBron. Here you go, Kobe. You guys kind of do it at the same time. Oh, Tim Duncan's still hanging around. Oh, well, here's this new guy, Kawhi Leonard. Here's Paul George. To your point, they've always had somebody to hand the ball off to. And now it looks like all the stars are leaving, and you're kind of looking at a bunch of foreign guys. Like it's like Luka, it's like Victor Wembanyama. What's going on?
Yeah, and then not to mention Giannis.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like the young foreign guys.
Again, it seems like the NBA is going down the road of Major League Baseball as well.
Yeah.
With, MLB, you look at, Shohei Ohtani. You look at, well, he's a unicorn. I mean, he's one of one.
Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz,
yeah.
all these young kids that are coming up from the internationals. That's where the Tigers failed. They don't have those international scouts. They do now, and hopefully they're going to be a lot better than they were under Al Avila. But those are the guys that are winning the game for you. Those are the guys that are the exciting part of all the sports, at least baseball and NBA and hockey.
The good news about Victor Wembanyama is, you bring up Victor, and it's funny, I'm wearing that that silver and black today. It's almost like I'm with the Spurs. Like Victor Wembanyama, in the 2 games he played, and we'll get into that now, might as well. He looked beyond what I thought he was gonna look like. Like he looked beyond. Like the first game,
there's his numbers.
His numbers are interesting. Over the weekend, he averaged 18 points, 10 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 4 blocks. The blocks are the ones that stick out. I mean, he was everywhere. He was defensively there. He was sound. He was stern. He's gonna be dope. Like the thing that caught me by surprise is his vision on the court. I mean, he saw it in the game, like in game 1. His vision, saw guys. It was easy. He had nice touch, getting guys to the basket, getting guys open. He also saw the floor of the game. And then those are just nerves. Like, he's young. He's 19. Everybody was watching him. You got the whole world trying to see who Victor Wembanyama is going to be. Then he bounces back with 27. So he'll be fine. I think he's going to be what we believe him to be. The interesting thing is what's going on with the Spurs as a whole. You got that. You saw that Greg Popovich.
What a gem Pop is.
You saw Pop resign. Now here's a guy, man. How old is Pop?
78 years old.
70.
No, I mean I don't know. I was 87 years old.
He's in his 70s. He's 71.
105 years old.
So 105 years old. He signs a 5-year extension. What do we talk about before the draft? I told you that
Greg Popovich feels like Bill Belichick to me. By the way,
he is.
He is stuck in his ways. Like. But at the end of the day, what did they both do? They created dynasties. They created winning cultures. They've won championships. They bought them there. There's a reason why they're paying $500 million for a new state-of-the-art facility, and that's because they knew they were going to get Victor Wembanyama. They want to keep him close. They don't want to have a situation like they did with Kawhi Leonard.
Wait a minute. You said they
He's
knew?
officially 74 years old, by the way.
So you're saying to me the Spurs already knew like a year ahead of time that they were going to get Victor.
There's no reason.
So you're telling me that the thing was fixed,
100%.
as we've always said, it's fixed.
100%. There's no reason why. There's no reason why you build a $500 million state-of-the-art facility because you want to grow players. You want to give it on your own, like the situation with Kawhi Leonard, where he's going outside to his own doctors, his own training. They got railroaded when he left. Victor Wembanyama is going to be okay. They brought Pop in for another 5 years to basically oversee his growth. They shut him down this year at the summer leagues. No more summer leagues. He won't be playing in FIBA this summer. Like, they've shut him down so that they can build him up and grow him. They said, look, country saw enough. You got 2 games. You saw him score 27. We got a project on our hands. We don't want to mess up Victor Wembanyama. We don't want to throw him to you guys in year one and play 80 games and play the Christmas game and do all the games of head-to-heads against Jokic because it's good for TV ratings. We don't give a F about your TV ratings. We care about Victor being the next Tim Duncan, Victor being the next David Robinson or Manu or Tony Parker, and even better, we need him for the long run, and that's why they're shutting it down. He's going to be a great player, but it's not going to be for 3 years.
Yeah, I don't, that second game that he played the Summer League game, and I'm not here to deduce anything from the Summer League, but it does appear that this kid can play. You know what I mean? That first game, it looked like he was a little bit of a deer in headlights, but the second game, come on, this guy's going to be great.
And after that second game, they, the reporters, actually it was a press conference. I got some sound for you.
Yeah.
This is Victor Wembanyama. They asked him, hey, what do you like about this game versus the game in France? Here's what he had to say.
It's, first of all, the court is more open. It's going fast, but it's less physical, and I get fouled a lot, but not as much. Nothing to compare. And yes, and people are players are just flying, Out there it's more underground, pushing underground, big box outs. Here it's great athletes, the best in the world, way more talent, and but I like this better though.
Look, at the end of the day, he's 19 years old. I'll give myself some pushback, Maz, as well as everybody else should push back. He's 19 years old, and he's playing in front of the whole world, and it's a different game, like you said, more athletic and faster over here. Not better, but more athletic, a little faster. He's 19. Can you imagine being 19 years old giving a speech in college? I remember the first time I had to speak with my SMC 101 class or 103. I had to give a speech in front of 40 kids. Went up there, was a little nervous, stuttered through a little bit of it, eventually got better and better and better. I was 18, and I struggled in front of 40 kids. There were 15,000 people in those stands, and there were about a couple billion trying to see what this kid was going to be. Yep. And then he came back on Sunday and showed you what it is. He's going to be more than fine. He gave us more than enough, and if I'm Pop, I shut him down too. For me, and we all have these people, right? I mean, Maz, you've hated Big Papi and Tom Brady and anybody that plays for Boston. The older I get, I find myself rooting less against people. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like the older I get, I always root for people. I've got a weird dichotomy now, though, because I am rooting for Victor Wembanyama, but I hate Pop so much. Like, I despise that guy. I think he's like such a smartest guy in the room, know-it-all.
He's a grumpy bastard.
He's ready. I don't like the way he treats people. I think he's a total jerk. I think he's a total jerk. I think if you had a list of jerks in professional sports, Greg Popovich would be numero uno.
But who's not a jerk? But who's not a jerk that's considered great? I'm not talking about good coaches. I'm not talking about good players. I'm not talking about good CEOs. Who's not a jerk that is a great CEO? That is a great head coach?
Mark Cuban.
See, when he used to be a huge jerk.
Pete Carroll.
Jerk.
Pete Carroll's a jerk.
Jerk.
But he doesn't look like a jerk
because he knows where did he hit it big at in Hollywood.
Don Shula.
Mike Tomlin doesn't look like a jerk. I'm thinking about NFL coaches.
He looks like he could be a tough guy.
Andy Reid doesn't look like a jerk.
No, he looks like a good dude.
But he's an icon. Once again, you're talking about Pop. You're talking about arguably the greatest coach of all time. Stop giving me NFL coaches that have a Super Bowl win.
Chuck Daly.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley's not a jerk.
No.
Almost got fired a bunch of times over. A bunch of people have left out of Pat Riley's system because he was a jerk. Just because somebody is good and classy doesn't mean you can hide what they are.
Phil Jackson.
Oh my God, how much has been written about him?
Zen.
Exactly. He followed his own advice. Einstein. The list goes on because Pop's in that. He's a genius.
Well, maybe you're right.
Eric Spoelstra.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, Bray. Bray, maybe you're right.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Maybe you're right. I'm not willing to say you're fully right because I don't want to lose the argument.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying maybe
you
you're
like
right.
to take your time.
Pop got hired.
I like to take my time.
I like to take
Pop
your time.
Pop got hired in 80. Pop got hired in 87.
I like to take my time.
Pat Fitzgerald's still a coach if you were there.
Top of the hour. Top of the hour, we'll get to that. And yes, he would be, actually.
Too soon.
I'll tell you why in the top of the hour. But top of the hour, I'll tell you that. But next, we mentioned the Isaiah Stewart. 4 years, $64 million for a guy that I think we both called a poor man's Jason Maxiell.
And he was a poor man's
I gotta hear Braylon's
He ain't
take.
poor now.
I gotta get Braylon's take on this next. But first message from Big Boy.
He still likes to go to Big Boy. That's right. He starts his day off with the breakfast. You know what time it is. It's strawberry hotcakes time. It is the strawberry red velvet waffle. That's right. Get on that early, and if you don't want breakfast, what's wrong with you? But how about a little afternoon snack for you? The strawberry bacon chicken wrap. How about the salad, the summer splash salad, and those desserts? The strawberry pie with some fresh whipped cream on it, the deep fried vanilla Oreo, and a lot more. You can also have just a plain old Big Boy at your local Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Braylon Edwards, I'm going to give you 3 Pistons drafted in 2020 and tell you that one of them is about to get paid $64 million. Killian Hayes is 7, Sadiq Bey, or Jason Maxiell. I mean, Isaiah Stewart. Right. And one of those guys gets a 4-year contract, $64 million. Are you surprised? Did the Pistons do the right thing? I am shocked.
I would have saved you the trouble when I said there's only one that I would have paid that contract
Sadiq
to.
Bey.
And he no longer plays here. And he no longer plays here. This just goes back. Beef Stew making 4 years, $64 million. Now, what I will say about this, I can appreciate the NBA Players Association. I can appreciate them for negotiating on behalf of the players for the collective bargaining agreement so that their players are paid, so that their players have money, so their players never have to go broke, so their players are always good. Now, I can't appreciate that. But with that being said, Beef Stew just hasn't shown me anything that warrants being worth 4 years, $64 million. Now, is it a loyalty thing? Is it this what we feel like we should do to show players this is what our organization is? This is how we're cut. We take care of our own. Well, in taking care of our own, maybe your own should take care of you. I didn't see anything about Beef Stew last year, anything last year that made me think that he was going to be a viable asset to this team moving forward. I just haven't. Now, he works hard. He definitely works hard. He's in the community. I get all of that. But it's a results-based business.
Didn't he chase LeBron around a couple years ago?
He did him.
All right, then he deserves the contract.
Here you go.
Right
You know what's interesting about that? LeBron James owns this NBA. The fact of the matter is LeBron James owns the NBA. He learned from Jordan's mistakes and saw where Jordan could have owned the NBA, chose not to, and he did. Do you know who Beef Stew? Do you know who his agent is? It's Rock everybody Nation. Else Asian in the NBA now.
Rich Paul?
It's Rock Nation. Rock Nation got the model and gave it to LeBron. LeBron James has Clutch Sports with Rich Paul. Between the two of them, they represent everybody in the NBA. LeBron's about to be the first one to get his own team. Well, second one. But it'll be worth much more money. He owns the team. Going back to Beef Stew, I don't see it. And I think this is a situation where you got a new coach. You're trying to go in a new direction. Like paying Beef Stew. Just like with you with uniforms, it reminds me of going in the same direction. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything that says he's worth this 4 years, $64 million, and you got a new coach. You're trying to win some games. I don't know if I would have paid him.
I feel like it's a positionless NBA, right? But
You gotta have something.
Gotta have some. Yeah. And look, I mean, I don't know, 11 points a game, 8 rebounds, 13 double-doubles last year. You know, you just look at the stat sheet. He has started 47 of 50 games, but on this team, I'm not sure that's saying a lot.
Jalen Durham was every bit of
right?
18 last year. James Wiseman was trying to find the fit. Marvin Bagley III was fighting injury last year. Those aren't going to be the same numbers, but Beef's still moving into this year.
He's 22 years old, and look, I'm surprised. I'm shocked at this contract. I don't see it, but I'll wait and see if this is if this young player turns into, over the next 2 or 3 years, a player that you can count on and a big factor, a big part of this rebuild. I don't get it right now. I'd be lying to you if I said I thought this was a good signing. I don't think this is a good signing, but I'm not going to freak out about it because, again, the Pistons feel like they are so far away from contending or competing, so I'm not even sure something like this matters because I don't think they're 4 years away from anything. I think they're 6 to 7 years away from something. So you have to feel the team somehow.
You know what this gave them? It gave them Troy Weaver's first class. At least he got one of those guys re-signed in that first class.
Yeah, that's real.
All right, and like you said,
that's real.
He's a plug-in player. They're not going anywhere. All right, and they like him. And you got to build the team anyway. I told you James Wiseman is going to have his coming out party this year. So far, so good.
He looks good. I'm
so
not going to freak out.
No, but I'm saying
he looks like he can play a little bit at least.
He can play. He needs the opportunity, and he's got it now.
Look, can I say this about Summer League? Just real quick? And I can't freak out about anything. I don't even want you to think that I'm freaking out in the positive about anything.
It did look good.
But what I am saying is, if you want to be a good player in the NBA, you have to. You better dominate the Summer League, at least. When you're playing against first and second year players, if you can't dominate in that setting, you have no future in the NBA. None. Not for a guy like James Wiseman. I'm not talking about some rookie that comes in and is trying to figure it out. I'm talking about Wiseman, third year player?
Yeah,
fourth year. I mean, come on, this is like a senior. Come on. You have to dominate the frickin' Summer League if you're going to be anything in the NBA.
And he is.
If you're a James Wiseman type guy, and at least he's doing it.
Bless you, Mike.
Bless you. I heard that too. But at the same time, listen, it's not that easy. He's in there in year 4. He was hurt with the Warriors forever. He kept getting pushed back there. They kept getting pushed back to the summer leagues and the G League, and it's continuous non-chemistry, working with this lineup, working with that lineup, getting in for 2 seconds, not getting in for 2 seconds, coming over here. It's also in the summer league. It's not a bunch of guys that are 18, 19, right? It's some guys that have been in the G League for 7, 8 years. It's guys that have been on hold. It's guys that are really ready to go. It's guys that are hungry, guys that this may be their last chance. So in these games, it's feisty, it's fighting. The refs aren't calling all the kind of calls. So and that's why fans love the summer leagues, because it's very competitive. So it's not necessarily that easy. But to your point, he has been playing well in summer league, and he has looked good. So to your point, our point mixed together, looks like he might be onto something.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we'll see where that goes.
Last thing on Beef Stew,
please, you got time.
My last thing on Beef Stew, my apologies. Look, as I'm talking about it, look, you gotta have that guy that the team can depend on. It's like a Draymond Green character. Like, it's Draymond Green, it's Udonis Haslem. You got to have these type of players that have been there with the team for a long time. They're the guys that can get players to do what they don't want to do. They're the guys players look up to. So maybe Beef Stew is that player. Maybe he's the big brother. Hell, the guys on the team are only 17, 18 years old. He's 22. He's an old man on the team. So maybe that's the invaluable part of Beef Stew. So I will say that if that's his role, then that's a much necessary role.
Totally agree with you. Yeah. I'm going to keep an open mind about it, and maybe it's a bad take to have that this is a bad signing. Maybe one day we'll look back a couple of years from now and say, man, that was a really good signing by Troy Weaver. But right now it doesn't feel like that, but I'm willing to keep an open mind. I'm also keeping an open mind on Asar Thompson. He looked like he can play a little bit too.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of good pub.
So this is some sound. James Edwards was at Summer League and got this sound, and here it is talking about the speed of the Pistons.
So there's been a lot of talk about just making winning plays, right, when it comes to just doing whatever it takes to win. How important is it for you to show in this setting just how you can impact a game without scoring, without having the ball? Obviously, we know you could be a facilitator, but there are facilitators out here. So finding that balance, how has that been the first 2 games for you?
You know, I feel like it's just important, especially for Summer League, to, you know, try to get everybody opportunity. Although there's times I feel like I should be more aggressive. I feel like it's more of a team game. We're all learning each other. So plays like, not players miss me, I miss players. It's not just like one-sided. And I feel like as we keep working and building chemistry, we're going to be dangerous. I feel like we're the fastest team in the league. When we get out in the break, it's a bucket almost every time. And defense, we got locked back in on defense. 106, 109, way too much, especially for 10-minute quarters. But they were hitting shots, man.
Does that kind of, we were talking about, you guys have the speed, you guys can play in the open floor. There was that play where Duran found you, bounce pass, and you dropped it back to Wiseman. Does that kind of personify the way you guys probably should play when the regular season starts and the capabilities you guys have as a running team?
Definitely. You know, I feel like our bigs, one thing that makes us great is our bigs can run. You know, especially Duran pushes the break sometimes.
Good passers too.
Yeah, good passes too. Unselfish and, you know, wise big guy get a bucket. So, you know, and they talk to me a lot. We talk a lot. So they kind of tell me where they're going to be. So I try to look for them.
Obviously, what you've done today and yesterday is what you did on overtime.
I like Asar Thompson.
Yeah, I do too.
Like I love Asar Thompson. I mean, if you look at his stat line from the last game, I want to say he had double-digit points,
17,
double-digit rebounds.
Yeah,
he had 8 assists. He had 7 steals. It was one of those Russell Westbrook stat lines where he had something in every category, along with steals and not that many turnovers. He's going to be an interesting player for the Detroit Pistons. I'm excited, and he was drafted obviously one spot below his brother, Amin Thompson, who actually, like you said, man, got injured along with Scoot Henderson this past weekend. But I think going after his brother is going to make him the pissed off twin. Like, I think he's going to be the one that's pissed off. He's the one that's probably always had to prove himself. I think if you see now, man, he's embraced defense. That's one reason why Amin Thompson was a liability. Doesn't play much defense, much like all the other scorers in the NBA. But he plays defense. He also can score. He wants to run with a team. Like he mentioned 4 of his teammates as he was doing that interview with James Edwards. He was talking about Jalen Duran, talking about Wiseman, talking about Jaden Ivey. So I think this guy is a team guy that wants to get it done, and he's operating in every category. That spells well for the Pistons. They did get younger. Like watching, and this is going to be fun too, watching Summer League, Monty Williams, like his wheels got to be spinning looking at how fast these guys are getting up and down the court, how they're running. I don't think Dwayne Casey and the Pistons got a chance to gel and watch Summer League and watch those guys really develop a bond. But with this one, I think you're seeing something different. Monty's like, wow, they can really get up and down the court. They're fast. Jalen Duran's even pushing the ball up the court. I didn't really know that before I came here. So I think this has been a good Summer League at least. I mean, it's 2 games. So who knows? I mean, they play. I was excited because it's Friday. They play, you know who? They play the Spurs.
Oh, wow.
But there will be no Victor Wembanyama. But just in the 2-game sample size, it might be something to watch this year, man.
No doubt. It could be exciting. Maybe we'll go to a game this year even. How about that?
I'm down.
All right, guys. Still, the major story in sports is Pat Fitzgerald and the situation at Northwestern. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you why he would still be the head coach at Northwestern if I was in charge.
I can't wait for this.
And I'll tell you that coming up next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company.
Oh, yeah.
Fairway Packing, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Just plugging my computer in over here because...
Did you lose the juice?
Yeah, I lost some juice.
Lost some juice.
I lost some juice. But it's fine.
How's everyone doing in the chat? Everyone doing all right?
Well, you tell me, Maz. You're in that chat so much.
They're doing good.
You're always in that chat. I look over, you're always in that chat.
Well, you guys are taking care of business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you need me, you know I'm there.
Yeah, okay.
Whenever you want to throw it to me, I'm there to be thrown to.
Very good.
Yeah, they're all doing good.
All right. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey,
They think you're a clown, though. They think you're a clown.
We got Mikey Gentry in the audio booth today. JB is
No. I'm trying to dance around and get to the
Okay,
top.
here you go.
You said
it's the story of the sports world right now, and that's the situation going on at Northwestern. Pat Fitzgerald, the head coach, was fired yesterday. What do you mean I'm fired? You're fired. Fired. What do you mean I'm fired?
You fired.
Fired. I love my owner.
On his day off.
Yeah, exactly.
So wasn't he suspended? He got fired during his suspension.
He got fired during his suspension.
I'll be damned.
Man.
So just let me put the new stuff out there first. So Pat Fitzgerald, as you're seeing on the screen right now, a statement that he had, and I'm not going to read you the whole statement, but in part, it says our players are well prepared to make a positive impact on the world. I'm confident in the success we achieve together. The overwhelming majority of players we coach, 99% to be precise, have provided positive feedback that affirms our efforts. Attorney Maggie Hickey.
Oh yeah.
Conducted a thorough investigation spanning several months into the allegations that led to my termination. Her investigation reaffirmed what I have always maintained, that I had no knowledge whatsoever of any form of hazing within the Northwestern football program. Last Friday, Northwestern and I came to a mutual agreement regarding the appropriate resolution following the thorough investigation conducted by Ms. Hickey. This agreement stipulated a 2-week suspension. Therefore, I was surprised when I learned that the president of Northwestern unilaterally revoked our agreement without any prior notification and subsequently terminated my employment. Given this unexpected turn of events, I have entrusted my agent, Brian Harlan, and legal counsel, Dan Webb, of Winston & Strawn, LLP.
What's he paying them?
To take the necessary steps to protect my rights in accordance with the law. This law firm charges $2,000 per hour. But when you have $42 million in a contract that you have signed with Northwestern, you bet your ass you're going to want a piece of that $42 million, because you bet your ass also that Northwestern is going to try to fire you with cause and not have to pay you that $42 million. So that's a legalese money situation right there. Here is where
that is not the question that I have.
Here is where I am with this. This might be the most reasonable, albeit maybe unpopular, take you have ever heard in your life. But I feel I want to be consistent here. I do not believe allegations should lead to firings. I want the information. If ultimately these allegations are proven true, bye-bye, see ya. But I think one of the problems in society today, in our business, is we sit behind these microphones and we convict before we know anything about it.
You're fired.
And I am not going to do that. I am going to try not to do that. I'm a very flawed person. I'm sure there are times I do it. But I don't think if one person says something about me, if one person says something about you, or you, or you, I don't think you should be dismissed from your job until all the information comes out. Maybe a suspension, maybe a, hey, we need to take a break for a little bit until we see what happens. But no information has been revealed publicly. Everybody seems to be in the dark on this. The president had a meeting with Pat Fitzgerald. The president of the university had a meeting with Pat Fitzgerald. No new information came up from that. So what happened? I just want to take a back seat to it until I see more information. Again, and I go back to this, and you're going to hear me go back to this. Matt Ariza, the punter for the Buffalo Bills, was accused of gang rape. He was immediately fired, kicked off the Buffalo Bills before he even had his day in court, and ultimately the investigation led to no charges whatsoever. The prosecutor, there is audio tape of the prosecutor telling the girl, I think you're lying. He wasn't even in the house at that time, and it's on the basis of stuff like that that we see over and over again that makes me just say, you know what? I don't want to get involved in it until I get more information. I just don't think allegations should mean you're fired.
Well, I'm glad you can take that stance. For Pat Fitzgerald, like, I don't want to take that stance until I know more information. There have been a lot of convictions that have taken place based on allegations, and so excuse me if I don't boo-hoo about some white coach who got fired because they had allegations.
So there's
no
white-black thing for you?
No. Well, the reason why you like everything you name, I don't want to jump to conclusion over Duke. I don't want to jump to conclusion over Pat Fisher. I don't want to jump to conclusion over Matt Ariza. Like, we see this all the time in my community.
So because they're white, we should convict and fire them?
No, because I'm an institution that's a billion-dollar industry, and not only do you have one heinous incident that you're being alleged of, which is the homosexual deal, or which is the dry humping, or which is that's one horrible thing. Then on the other side, you have racism as well. It's not. Let me finish, Ryan. I'll let you talk.
Hey, no, I'm not saying anything.
Shut up. It's not about that. We're a billion-dollar industry, and you got two of these type of fronts. We don't care if you did it or not. Like, I'm speaking now. I'm just speaking as an institution. We don't care if you did it or not. If it's racism and it's the other level of the dry humping or the frat boy or whatever that thing was that they said, that you have two fronts. What do I tell incoming applicants? What do I tell people that are trying to come to Northwestern? Whether he did it or not. Like, let's say he did it and I have to wait 4 years to find out if he did it or not. Meanwhile, hurting enrollment. Meanwhile, hurting students. People thinking about, wow, Northwestern really has that guy as their head coach. Then what if it is true? Like, at the end of the day, I would rather it be true, and I find out later on down the line, and Pat Fitzgerald can sue me in a court of law and will settle civilly to keep my institution going on the right track, because people think we did the right thing. Because people saw us and said, you know what? They took action right away, and they didn't wait and let that man work there. That's what you're dealing with when you're an institution. You're a billion-dollar institution. It's about the institution. It's not about this one isolated incident.
And that's where we'll disagree. That's where I guess we'll fundamentally disagree, because I believe in an institution.
Always?
I don't know what you mean by always.
You say you believe in institution. I'm like, always?
Well, yeah, this is where I believe an institution, especially a place like Northwestern, should take a stand, because it is innocent until proven guilty.
It should be,
like
but it never is.
And Matt Broder brought up in the chat, Michael Irvin it's the same situation for Michael Irvin. He was fired and sent home from the Super Bowl without due process.
Yeah, but we're used to it. So what he did was he hired his attorney, and now he's in the situation to sue those institutions that fired him, and now he'll make more money.
Does that make it right because it happens?
But it happens all the time.
So that's what we should just go with.
It doesn't that it make it right. It's just the first time that it doesn't happen. It happens all the time. Like we see this all the time, like perjury with persecution.
I understand it happens all the time. It happens 99% of the time. And what I'm trying to say is I don't think that's right. And I'll always try to stand up, and I will fall short. I will fall short, and I'll probably fall short again. But I would like to believe on the principle of it alone,
right,
that should not happen. It is innocent until proven guilty. And I know this isn't a court of law, but I don't think you got a text message yesterday from a Northwestern player that said, yeah, it's crazy what some player could just say, or I'm paraphrasing, that didn't play, and look what happens.
I also talked to former players under Bo Schembechler that said none of this stuff happened with Bo and Dr. Anderson, but I've also talked to other people that said they're lying, and I know for a fact that they're lying. So people can say whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day, we'll find out in the court of law. All I was simply saying is that I understand from an institution standpoint, I understand why they would choose to say, you know what, there's this incident and now there's this as well. We have to move on, and we'll see what happens later on down the line. But in terms of, I believe, go ahead.
I was just going to say, music in. Tom Mazawey will get you in on this next. If you want to weigh in, feel free. Come on in the chat. But first, a message from Dispo. You're going to be there on Friday.
Shoot, maybe. Join us at Dispo Family Live at their Hazel Park location. We will be there this Friday.
Oh, Hazel.
Dispo, 21 up, rec only, non-medical, 9 locations around the state. Simply the best brands, high man runs, all those other good things. Come on down and check us out. Hazel Park, Dispo, this Friday, 2 to 4.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards talking about this, what's his name? Patrick Fitzgerald situation in Northwestern.
Yeah.
Tom Mazawey, you have listened. You have not had a chance to weigh in. What say you?
It's a toughie because there are cases out there where guys that were proven guilty, are innocent. There's a million cases like that. Go all the way back to Reuben Hurricane Carter. I mean, it happens all the time. The guy's been on the job 17 years. There's probably been some hazing. But this could have been a kid that was just had enough, pissed off, and maybe they didn't do right by him. And he's like, all right, I'm going to be the squeaky wheel now. You don't want to give me what I want, I'm going to come out and say these things. But in this day and age, Rye, it's over for anyone that gets in a little trouble. It's over because the public hangs you right away. Now, if Bo Schembechler was still coaching today, God rest his soul, he would have been fired.
His statue would have came down too.
He would have been fired.
The Joe Paul rule.
If Joe Paterno would have been coaching in this day and age, as good a man as he was,
get fired.
He'd be gone. Was he fired or did he retire?
He got fired.
Okay, he was fired.
Got
It's
fired.
been so long, I don't even remember. I know the whole Jerry Sandusky bull.
He essentially got fired, and then he passed
these guys are the bosses, man. Nothing gets by the boss. It really doesn't. Nothing gets by the boss, and it's up to them how they want to handle it. But in this day and age, man, it's zero tolerance. It's the way it is. It sucks.
Zero tolerance, even if you didn't do anything wrong.
Yes, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Why is it Matarazzo already on a team already? He's probably going to have to fight to get on a freaking team until, I don't know what he's got to do to clear his name. They used to call him the punt god in college. He's that good of a punter. But in this day and age, man, hey, back in the day when I first got hired into broadcasting business, my first boss would not go in an elevator if there was a woman in the elevator. He would not ride alone with a woman in an elevator. And that was in the Fisher building, beautiful Fisher building, beautiful golden elevators. There was a woman in there. He'd say, okay, hey, have a great day. He'd walk out, wait for the next elevator. Maz, I'm not getting in there because I'm not going to get in trouble. No way, no how.
Sounds like Mike Pence.
Yeah,
Just saying. That's the truth.
This is the way it is nowadays. And look, Ryan Ermanni, I understand what you're talking about, and you're absolutely right. It would suck to be on a job and a woman just alleged I did something, then I got fired and I didn't do it, and I got to explain that to my wife, and then nothing happened. You're absolutely right. It sucks. But at the same time, I would rather institutions, I would rather people take actions like this and figure the whatever else out down the road, because how many times have they missed these situations and it got worse and worse and worse and worse? His answer, his excuse, when they asked him, did he know about it, or blah, 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 or it said, why didn't you do anything? So I didn't know about it. I didn't know this was going on. Ryan, that is not a good answer. That is not a good excuse. This was the summer going into my senior year in Michigan. My last year, this is the summer. Lloyd Carr calls me into the office. I'm going there. I'm like, I'm not thinking much of it. It's June. We're about to break for summer, and I'm about to get ready into my senior year. Lloyd calls me in the office, and he says, I got a interesting email. And I was like, what's the email about? He said, don't worry about it. Just stay out of frat houses and don't kick doors down anymore. I was like, what? Okay, understood. There was a frat house party. I was up there with my ex-girlfriend. We were hanging out. We were ex-girlfriend, boyfriend at the time. We were still friends. She was in town from North Carolina visiting. We went to a frat house party. The police, fire code, something. They tried to close the door. You know how you guys lock the door of frat houses. I kicked the door out because she felt unsafe, and we left. Lloyd found out about that. That was the most simple thing. There was no fight. There was nothing that happened. There was nobody, nothing after that transpired. Lloyd Carr knew that little moment happened. That was the smallest of moments for him to say, I don't know.
That's right on.
That's BS. Even Joe Paterno mentioned that to his authorities way before he got busted for it. He said something about it. You don't have an institution where your guy, not to mention Pat Fitzgerald also played there. Yeah. He was also an All-American there. He is everything to
He is Northwestern.
He is Northwestern. The fact that they would fire him, it's not just about firing him because of the allegation. They definitely have done some research. This is one of their own, Ryan. This isn't Rich Rodriguez at Michigan.
So if you believe what we know, and the investigation did conclude, the months-long investigation, what we know of it did conclude that he did not know.
How do they know that?
That's what
because you have a $2,000 an hour lawyer.
No.
They spin words.
No. You're wrong now.
Okay.
Now let's not get the facts wrong. Okay. Let's not get the facts wrong.
All right.
There was
OJ was innocent.
Right. Yeah. Let's not get the facts jumbled up. He hired the law firm yesterday after he was fired.
Yeah.
The investigation found that he did not know, which I think is bad, and you should probably lose your job for that alone. Because whether what's worse, the fact that you knew about it or the fact that you didn't know about
Correct.
it? We can talk about that all you want.
They're both terrible.
Both terrible. But I guess where I'm coming from is you had that information. there was a meeting with the Northwestern president who, based on that information, suspended him for 2 weeks.
Right.
During vacation time.
Then what? So I guess what I'm saying is, so you've got this recommendation, you've got this information now after this months-long investigation, and you as the president determined that you were going to suspend him for 2 weeks. What happened to then 48 hours later say, you're fired?
Because in my
backlash.
No, in my estimation,
backlash.
I don't even know if it's so much as backlash as
Well, you said, Braylon.
Oh yeah,
they're losing their face. They're losing their reputation.
100%. Like 100%. And I think they probably found more in that investigation because they weren't just going after, the hazing stuff. They went after everything in that investigation, and they probably found much more than they care to enlighten. But it's the face. Like when you think of Northwestern University, it's prestigious. You just went on a whole 5-minute spiel yesterday about how prestigious the journalism school is, or the school for journalism.
They're Ivy League in the Midwest.
They're the Ivy League of the Big Ten.
The Ivy League is terrible. A bunch of nut jobs in the Ivy League. This is
long story short, like Northwestern, the thing they hang their hat on is education, academics, their higher institute, the things they do, and even have gotten good at sports. But now all of a sudden, when you think of Northwestern, at least in the last day or so, not only does racism now come into play, now you also think about dry humping, and you think about the hazing at the highest level. And people don't even haze anymore. So if I'm the provost, if I'm the regents, if I'm the dean, if I'm the president, he has to go. Like, he has to go.
So there was also stuff that came out about their baseball coach. On the tails of this, something came out from that newspaper, the school newspaper, that the baseball coach was a hands-on guy and being abusive to his players. So now all the leaks are starting to happen, and they got to plug up the leaks. What's the first big leak they got to get rid of? Get rid of the football coach.
So
go ahead.
I was going to say just a couple of things from some legal experts who are following this case. The paperwork here, if it ever gets to court, will be fascinating. I predict the emails will be something to behold. Nervous administrators, rushed lawyers, and anxious PR folks are all working on deadline. Tom Mars Law, pretty good following here. Lawyer says Northwestern's president, Michael Schill, is a seasoned administrator. He's also the dean at the University of Chicago and UCLA law schools, and was the law professor at NYU and the University of Pennsylvania. How could someone with this background botch the hazing scandal so badly? Meaning, if in fact if that allegation is true about the hazing, and you suspend this dude for 2 weeks in the summer months, how do you not?
I see what you're saying.
Like how did you just suspend him for 2 weeks in the summer if you've got that, if you believe those allegations to be true? So they've totally screwed this up. No matter which way you slice it, you either didn't fire him fast enough, or you fired him too quickly. There's just no in between, and that might sound ridiculous, but
it's no in between. But at the same time, if there is a sliver of hope that this is true for them, they fired him.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they fired him. And I think that's what Northwestern is hoping for. That's what they're not hoping for it to be wrong, because that means, and they're not hoping for it to be right, because that means it will be a heinous act. But they're praying that it's wrong, and I mean that it's right, and I think it is. I mean, I think they'll get it right. Better be on this side than keeping his job. Now, what happens if they keep his job and it's right? Oh.
Well, that's a bigger story, not just about Pat Fitzgerald. I think just a broader story in general. Two wrongs don't make a right, and
they don't.
Moving forward, in terms of society, we've got to stop convicting people based on allegations as a whole. And that, I guess I'm going to fall on that sword. I guess I'm just going to fall on that sword.
I agree with you. I just want it to be equal. I want people.
Yeah, so do I.
I just want people to see all cases. I don't want it to be a big uproar when it's Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern University not talking to you.
I understand.
I'm talking about the masses.
I think we did the same thing for Michael Irvin. I think we did do the same thing for Michael Irvin. We've tried to be consistent here.
This is
You know,
true.
we did the same thing for the Imani Bates gun charge.
What was the baseball player? Baumgartner?
I don't remember.
Trevor
Bauer.
Bauer. We even waited on that.
Yeah, I mean, I just again.
Okay, let's take a break and let's have some fun with this. Let's have
You got
more.
some trivia next? I got a lot of NFL stuff. We can get
I got
to as
NFL
well.
too. I
All
just
right.
want to ask a question. Did
Yeah.
you see? Did you see what Kirk Cousins or did you see what Justin Jefferson?
Ooh.
Say his top 5 quarterbacks were.
Well, he must be watching Quarterback on Netflix coming out tomorrow.
Hey, well, we'll talk about it in a second. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes.
Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 to 19 in the United States and Canada to work out for free all summer long from now through August 31st. Planet Fitness is committed to providing a safe and comfortable place for teens to work out for free all summer long. Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass offers a solution for teenagers to stay active during the summer when school is out, and important academic extracurricular programs such as sports, gym class, and after-school activities are in recess. Teens can register between now and officially gain access to the club with registration open during the summer months through August 31st. Teens under 18 in the U.S. and 19 in Canada must register with a parent or guardian online or in club. All high school summer pass participants have access to free fitness training from in-club certified trainers, free workouts designed specifically for high schoolers in the free Planet Fitness app, as well as workout plans available at planetfitness.com/summerpass. Plus, we're giving away $200,000 to high schoolers and students. Teens ages 14 to 19 who register with the high school summer pass can help win them win a scholarship for their school and participate in a TikTok video contest for a chance to win academic scholarships. Visit the landing page for more information and legal disclosure, pfsummerpasscontest.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We are the network for Detroit, by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Just a fun quick. I was just scrolling through Twitter, Braylon, before we get into it here, and well, there are a couple of things. Yeah. Do you want just two things? First and foremost, Las Vegas police SWAT standoff at Caesar's Palace. Armed man busting through windows, like throwing something out of a Caesar's Palace.
It looked like a jewelry box.
Yeah, it did. Looked a wild video. But number two, I saw Lions fan report. Apparently, Jared Goff bought $10 million house in Manhattan Beach, California.
Great restaurant. The Post is in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, the Post.
Great
so good in
It sounds like a
Manhattan
great
Beach.
place.
But the house formerly owned by Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
And it just got me to thinking. If
Why the hell do we live here?
No.
Oh.
Well, that too. No, I like it here.
I know
you might not like it.
No,
here.
you like it. I heard you yesterday.
Right.
You named all those cities.
Right.
It's
Very
beautiful.
good.
For you.
If you're the LA Rams, do you think you would trade? You wish you had Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford? And if you're the Lions, would you take Matthew Stafford back or keep Jared Goff?
Everybody's happy where they were. The LA Rams, they won the Super Bowl.
No, like right now, today, in the 2024 season. Like, leave him, like, would you make that trade back?
No.
No, I wouldn't either. I'd keep Jared Goff. I would keep Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford.
100%.
Not even think about it.
Youth and not a broken back or not a broken neck.
I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, no, his time is up. He
Yeah.
did his 12 years, and he was rewarded handsomely.
You know what time it is.
Yeah, Jared Goff he's this Lions quarterback. Like this Lions franchise right now, this identity that they have, Jared Goff is the quarterback. We appreciate everything Matt Stafford did in his 12 years, but in this system, it's Jared Goff, man. I think Matthew Stafford's an afterthought.
I'm watching Mike Gentry play with this Snap-on toy in the booth there. What is that? What is that you're playing with there, Mike?
Oh, that's the spinning.
It's the fidget spinner.
It's a
Fidget
spinner.
I always got to be doing something, and it prevents me from biting my nails.
Oh, that's a good idea. You don't want to bite your nails.
A lot of people, a lot of kids use that, but a lot of people quit smoking too.
Yeah.
Use that.
And using their phones. Like I used to use it. It stopped me from using my phone back in the day.
You know what today is, by the way?
7-Eleven.
Widget day.
It's 7-Eleven day. Free Slurpees.
7-Eleven.
Free Slurpees.
You don't care about anything, do you?
Don't give a shit.
All right.
Well, you know what I care about? I care about Justin Jefferson doing his top 5 quarterbacks currently in the NFL.
Tell it to me.
And guess who's not on the list? This is just Justin Jefferson revealed. Obviously, everybody knows who number 1 is. Number 2, surprisingly, Aaron Rodgers. 3, Joe Burrow. 4, Jalen Hurts. And 5, no, you're not seeing a typo. That's Josh Allen. Kirk Cousins does not make Justin Jefferson's list. So I asked you guys out there, and I asked you in the studio, is Justin Jefferson supposed to put Kirk Cousins on this list?
No. I don't have a problem with this at all, and I think Kirk Cousins wouldn't have a problem with this at all. I think that is a legitimate answer, and I think Kirk Cousins is not very good at all to begin with.
You like that?
I think Kirk Cousins is a fine average quarterback. He's probably a top 16 quarterback in the NFL. Top 16, but he's not top 5. So for Justin Jefferson to not put him in the top 5, I don't think is cap.
Oh, look at you with the sign off.
That's tomorrow, by the way.
It is tomorrow, and
no cap.
Man, I'm gonna ask you before I say it. Should Justin Jefferson have put Kirk Cousins in the top 5?
No,
in his top 5, he should not.
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. So now
you can't break that 5. That's a hell of a 5.
See, here's where I have a different thought on it. This is where I have a different thought on it. As a former NFL wide receiver, I'll just look at these cases right now. If you ask Amon-Ra St. Brown, the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Jared Goff better be in that list for Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you ask DK Metcalf, who are the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Geno Smith better be on that list. If you ask Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa better be on that list.
Ooh.
As a wide receiver, your job is to show confidence in your quarterback. Your job is to have your boys back. And if I'm looking at it statistically, Kirk Cousins was better than 2 quarterbacks on that list last year.
What would you have said when you played with Derek Anderson?
Charlie Fry.
No. Derek Anderson got me to the Pro Bowl, and that year I had 16 touchdowns. I would have said Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, whoever else.
Eli.
Okay, Eli Manning. I wouldn't have said that, but okay, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Derek Anderson. Because even if Kirk Cousins looks at it like this, Ryan says, I know absolutely what Jay Jett is lying through his teeth. Like, I know Jay Jett is lying through his teeth. I know he doesn't think it's me. He still put him in there as a 9.
That's a good
He
point.
still put him in there as a 9, and it's your boy. Like, if I'm on Ross St. Brown, I'm going to give you a little bit of game. If they ask you, you better put Jared Goff in that top 5. Geno, like, this is how you build chemistry. Even though it's a goof, there's always a little bit of a joke and sarcasm in the truth. And if Kirk Cousins is looking at this, he's not on this list. He's like, damn, I had 5,000 yards passing last year. Damn, how many passes did I throw Justin Jefferson? How many times did I get Justin Jefferson the ball? Granted, he's supposed to. Things like that, it looks small and it looks little and everybody's laughing and he. Kirk Cousins is going to be somewhere talking to his wife, and this is going to come up at dinner.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, he's going to be one of the quarterbacks featured in a new Netflix docu-series called Quarterback.
Oh, I saw that.
Here is the extended trailer for it. And I want to ask you guys, when you're done, who are you most intrigued to see behind the scenes?
Let's go upstairs now and read, okay?
We probably can't play the whole 4 minutes.
Let's do the book of why in Sports Illustrated. Yeah. Let's do that. That was a good one. Book of why. Why does the NFL have so many rules against hitting quarterbacks? First, there's the fact that when a quarterback is throwing a pass, he's in no position to protect himself. An injury to the quarterback can sink a team's entire season. Did you know the season-ending knee injury that Tom Brady suffered in the first game of the 2008 season led to a ban on hitting quarterbacks below the knee? And Dad is forever grateful.
Shoot, two of those quarterbacks might not even be starting.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Kirk Cousins, Patrick Mahomes is obviously
The
featured
GOAT.
in this as well too. Kirk Cousins, I mean, guy seems like the most boring guy in the world to me. I don't know.
There's a lot of those out there. But he's cool, though.
Yeah,
Like,
but it looks cool. I mean, I can get down with reading a book at the end of the night to the kids.
It's kind of like a Hard Knocks thing.
Yeah.
Remember how Hard Knocks used to be?
Hard
They
Knocks
really dive
need to
into it.
reinvent themselves.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's gonna disappear.
I don't know if it'll disappear. I think what you're saying, I think
What the
you're-
Lions do and all the other teams.
No. I think what you're saying is the replacement. Like, this is the new replacement. Nobody wants to watch a whole team. You want a couple players.
That's right.
And then if you do it this way, you can do a couple different teams. Like, shoes, I would much rather watch this than watch a Hard Knocks.
You're right.
Lions, I think this is the new wave. Just a couple players, maybe 3, 4, 5.
Correct.
You can dive into that. I'm excited to see that. I mean, I was a huge Mariota fan I wanted to get him here as a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really care about Mariota, but I guarantee once I start watching, I'm predicting the Mariota one is going to be the most interesting of the three.
We'll care about all these guys when it's
100%.
done. We'll care
And
about
then
all these guys when it's done.
And then they'll have new fans, and then you have people across the country that now don't even live in Atlanta, but they may want to buy Atlanta Falcons jersey.
And then in 6 months you'll see running back.
What's it,
and
an
then
hour?
wide receiver.
It's an hour?
Yeah, it's docuseries, different episodes,
I look
number of
forward
different
to it.
episodes. I do too. Also looking forward to this Michigan football series. It's a 5-part series called Michigan Made. We'll talk about that, give you a clip of that coming up next. But first, a message from Randy.
Oh, Watson. Randy Wise, you got it. What could be better than watching these kind of guys, these celebrities, Braylon and D-Mac, playing golf? You know what it is. Playing golf yourself, but being treated like one of those guys. You want to be treated like a celebrity? Well, stop in any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation. You got free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and afterwards, a tasty steaks. Compliments of Fairway Packing. Make the wise decision. Get to a Randy Wise dealership today for your chance to win.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, having a little fun here on a Tuesday. We also want to tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company. We're going to be out there tomorrow. So not tomorrow, Thursday. Here's the deal with this. How would you like to race D-Mac?
Ooh.
On a mower.
I'm in.
You can join Woodward Sports Network live this Thursday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. as we broadcast live for Christmas in July at Outdoor Equipment Company. Great pricing on everything in stock. Mowers, tractors, handhelds, even snow plows. 0% financing, free delivery. It's Christmas in July at Outdoor Equipment Co. in Ray Township. We'll be out there on Thursday. Come see us. Want to thank Outdoor Equipment Company for their partnership here on Woodward Sports Network. Braylon Edwards, we're talking about the quarterback series. More and more the Lions are doing this with Inside the Den. Everybody wants content. Everybody wants to put more content out there, flooding the market with anything you can possibly do. And Michigan football is no different. Let me play this trailer for you. This is from a 5-part series called Michigan Made. And take a look at this.
Going down that tunnel is different. It's just a feeling unlike any other. You know, you hear the crowd screaming, you hear the crowd roaring.
That first time when I ran out in the tunnel, it felt surreal to me.
Think about the generations that have walked through this tunnel. It's everything you put work into coming down to that game.
Please welcome the Big Ten East champions.
Oh my God, like, this is it.
Back on the field with our brothers, going against new blood, new color, starting a new journey that we want to accomplish, winning that national championship.
We all have one goal, and we're looking to get that done.
Beat Ohio State, beat Michigan State, win the Big Ten championship, repeat.
We want to win a national championship.
Take care of yourself.
We have the potential to do it. We have the talent to do it.
Take care of one another.
This team's got a chance to do something great.
I expect nothing but great things from us this year.
How are you going to leave your legacy at Michigan? How are you going to leave your legacy in life?
When you walk out there with Amazing Blue and the helmet on, everything, you're playing for something bigger than yourself.
Regardless of the statistics, the doubters, the haters, the critics, this is what Michigan is. This is what we do. This is us.
Braylon Edwards, what do you remember about the first time you went down that Michigan tunnel? And then the first time you went down as a player?
First time I went down the tunnel that I remembered, if you will, it was going to the 1990 Michigan. It was 1990. It was the infamous game with Desmond Howard. It was the 2-point conversion game. The game in which Desmond got held on the 2-point conversion and didn't catch the pass. I just remember, it was so much. I run up and down the sideline from birth until that moment 7 years later. But at 7, I saw it differently. I saw the players. I understood exactly what was going on. I understood the moment. I walked down and I had Ricky Powers put his hand on my head. If you guys don't know, that's number 12, 1990 running back. He was the precursor to Tyrone Wheatley. But the first time I walked down as a player, I just remember every time I walked down the tunnel for 4 years, I never thought about the opponent except once, and that was Old State my junior year. That was the 100th game. We hadn't beat them. It was 1 versus 7. So that game walking down the tunnel, I was thinking about Ohio State. But every time I walked down that tunnel, Ryan, it never was the teams I was playing, man. It was the players that came before. I was thinking about AC when he's coming down the tunnel. I was thinking about Derek Alexander. I was thinking about, A-Train. I was thinking about Hutch. I was thinking about Eric Wilson. So I was thinking about my dad. I was thinking about what did my dad feel like when he used to walk down the tunnel? That tunnel, that walk. I know there's a lot of great traditions in college football, and I'm not saying it's the best one. I don't care about the rest. It's the only one to me. That's
the Lloyd Carr tunnel.
So, hey, exactly. Last year at the Penn State game, I had a chance to see him inducted. So it's a great feeling to walk down that tunnel.
Just to geek out on you for a minute, I grew up since at birth being a Michigan fan. And the first time I walked down that tunnel, even the last time I walked down that tunnel, Braylon, when you and I went down there just for the charity event just a couple of months ago, each and every time I walk down that tunnel, I think about that kid growing up that would have never believed in the history of his life he would just be all willy-nilly and get to go walk wherever he wanted to at Michigan Stadium. going in locker rooms and walking down tunnels.
You earned your way into that place.
But I never take it for granted.
Yeah.
I never take it for granted. And it's such a special thing.
He played in Michigan. Speaking of that, that's funny.
Who's that?
That's Barima Opong-Owusu.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's Barima. Barima's older brother, BJ, I played with. Played BJ Opong-Owusu.
Is he coming in for a haircut?
No, Barima's got dreads, so he's not coming in here. But it's interesting. We're talking about Michigan, and here comes a former Michigan football player walking down Woodward. It's great to see.
That's funny.
I am interested in this series, though. I mean, it comes out every Thursday, 5-part series, and again, we will consume any content from areas that we are not allowed to be in, right? Like in Kirk Cousins' house, at Patrick Mahomes' house. You want to go to dinner with Patrick Mahomes? Here is your opportunity to do that. You want to see what Will Johnson does on his off days at University of Michigan? Here's your opportunity to do that. All these little things, they add up to views, and views add up to money, and that's what makes the world go round.
I like this because I think because of NIL, and I don't want to just blame NIL, but because of NIL, a lot of transferring, a lot of people, you don't get a chance anymore to learn players. Players were the same place for 5 years at one point. It's 4 years at some point. You got a chance to grow with those players, learn those players. I think now everything is surface layer. You don't really get a chance to learn about players. It's just the institution. It's just the football team. It's just the head coaches, the personality. You don't get a chance to dive into the lives. Like when I was coming up, I knew everything about everybody on the team. Granted, I was up there every Saturday, but I knew guys. Like I knew about Chris Perry. I knew how he had to go to Valley Forge. Like I knew about Dave Terrell coming out. I just knew about
my guy.
DT, man. I knew about these players. Now everything is surface information, trivia, trivia.
Oh, you want to do trivia?
I want to get Maz a couple questions, man. It's the All-Star game tonight.
Okay.
We got about 10 minutes left in the show.
Maz trivia next, but first a message from Lady Jane's. Haircuts for men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 chances. 2 cars, I should say, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's so wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Ermanni and Edwards, last segment of the show with Maz. And speaking of Maz, I figured since the All-Star game was tonight, it is my favorite All-Star game, your favorite All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we have a couple trivia questions, man, and then also maybe a couple stories about some select
I like
years.
that. I want Ryan to participate.
I got this.
Right.
I got this unlocked.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm gonna ask you guys 5 questions, and then Maz, I'm gonna give you a couple years.
Can I go against him?
Yes, you guys can.
Let's do it.
All right, here, and that is the case. First All-Star game was played in what year or what park?
New York City, Yankee Stadium.
Okay, wrong.
I'll say
year or park.
I'll say Cleveland Municipal Stadium.
I'll give you a hint. This team is in our division, Parker.
Go ahead, Parker.
Our division?
They're in our division.
Comiskey.
Oh, I was thinking.
Maz got it.
I said Cleveland first. I was close.
You did. It's Comiskey Park, 1933.
Starts with a C. It must be right.
Chicago.
America League. There you go. You were close.
I went to historic stadiums, Ryan. That's the way I talk.
Here's a good one for Maz. Most All-Star game appearances ever. Which player?
Ted Williams.
You mentioned this player a lot. Like, quite a lot.
Derek Jeter.
No.
Willie Mays.
Close.
Barry Bonds.
Not that
You
close.
be quiet.
Close. Willie Mays. He's another brother.
Hank Aaron.
Thank you. What's crazy about it, Hank Aaron has 25 appearances, in 23 years. Maz, can you tell them why?
Damn.
They played 2 All-Star games a couple of times.
Look at Maz with the knowledge. All right, here we go. MLB All-Star Game has only been canceled twice. What were those 2 times?
Strike?
Nope.
World War II.
1. You just talked about this one recently. Baseball hasn't recovered since.
COVID
and World War II.
COVID-19.
We're rolling, man. I want Gentry in on this.
Saves in All-Star Game history. It's easy if you think about it.
Most saves in All-Star history?
Who's the man when you think of the closer?
Mariano Rivera.
Boom. Derek Jeter is the only player to win All-Star Game.
I got to be ashamed of myself.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You call yourself a Yankee
right,
fan. You ain't no Yankee fan. You don't know Rivera has the most saves
3
in All-Star Game
home
history.
run duos in All-Star Game history.
The Bonds,
Say what?
The Bonds, Barry and Bobby.
Griffey, Ken and Ken. And
Guerreros. It's pretty easy considering what happened last night.
Oh, the Vlads.
The Vlads.
The Guerreros.
The Vlads.
5 sets of brothers have been All-Star teammates. Can you name 3?
Billy and Cal.
The Alou brothers.
The who?
Moises
Alou.
Oh, no.
No Alous? No Felipe?
But you're close with the AL.
Oh, the Alomars.
Thank you. That's 1.
Sandy and Robbie.
How many more are we looking for?
It's 5 total. So
wow.
4, but
brothers.
I helped you out there a long time ago.
Hank and Tommy Aaron?
No. Joe DiMaggio has a brother.
Oh, wow.
Dom DiMaggio.
Oh, yeah, Dommy DiMaggio.
Here we go, Maz. Let's switch it up for a second.
I wonder if Dom got to go out with Maryland.
Maz, 1971, the All-Star Game
My
was...
favorite game of all time.
Exactly. Please tell me the most significant thing about 1971 All-Star Game in...
Detroit, Tiger Stadium. Had the most,
Reggie Jackson.
Had the most Hall of Famers, and Reggie cleared the roof, hit the transformer in right field.
Maz, 2001, one of my favorite players retired. This is actually my favorite MLB moment. Cal Ripken. What was significant about 2001 that night? That was the infamous, the home run.
He hit a home run.
And the lights went out.
He hit a home run to win the game. Lights went out. That was his last plate appearance.
I'll be damned.
All-Star Game history. Here's another fun one. 89. What happened in 89? Best athlete of all time.
That was in...
Bo Jackson.
Oh, yeah, Bo Jackson.
1989, Bo Jackson made the All-Star Game and the Pro Bowl. 1970, tell me about Pete Rose and Roy Fosse.
Ray Fosse. He ran Ray Fosse over. Ray Fosse was the catcher for the A's. Pete Rose, of course, played for the National League Reds, and he slid home to win the game for the National League and crushed Fosse. Fosse never recovered from that injury. And how about this? The night before, he ate at Ray Fosse's house for dinner.
Get out of here.
100%.
Yes. And then he ran him over the next
Fosse
night.
ate at his house.
What?
Yep.
Ray Fosse ate at his house.
Come on, Fosse.
Isn't that something?
1999 might be a close second to the my All-Star moments. Maz.
99.
The best hitter of all time, possibly.
Tony Gwynn.
Well, possibly. It's Ted Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I was setting you up for the Ted Williams.
That was the Ted Williams at Fenway?
That was 1999?
Yeah, all right, Fenway. That was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
What happened in the game, though? Who took over that game? I'll help you on this one. Ryan, I looked it up. Pedro Martinez struck out 5 in a row and dominated that game, including back-to-back. He struck out Mark and Sammy back-to-back.
Wow.
Mark and Sammy back-to-back.
How many All-Star...
In 99, by the way. This is prime juice.
Yeah.
How many All-Star games has Pedro Guerrero been in?
He's been in OJ's house.
It was Pedro Guerrero.
Pedro. Maz, who's the youngest All-Star starter in MLB history? And I ask you this because it's one of your favorite teams. It's the 80s.
It's Doc Gooden.
There you go.
Doc Gooden.
19, he was...
And boy, was he good.
He was 19 years old.
Dr. No.
He was 19
39 years ago today, I think Darryl Strawberry was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
How about that?
Hey, when you said was on, I was about the sauce.
Yeah, no, he was on the sauce, on the cover.
The straw man had a sweet swing. Did he have a sweet swing or what?
Oh, man, not as sweet as Ken Griffey.
Pretty damn close.
No swing will ever duplicate.
Well, I got news for you. Daryl's was very close to Ken Griffey's.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't know.
Ken
know.
Like,
freaking kidding me?
No.
Ken was like the first person to take his natural swing and then just add some theater to it. Like, it was his natural swing, the lefty, but he added theater to it. The other guy just was a regular swing. Ken was like, all right, I'm going to put some spice on this and make it my thing. I'm going to drop the bat when I know the ball is gone. Like, you can never duplicate that.
How about JD Martinez starting in the
I
All-Star
know, he's a
game?
DH. He's doing awesome.
Yeah.
LA
Awesome.
Dodgers' whole squad is on the All-Star game.
They should be.
I kept looking last night. Every other interview was somebody with a Dodgers jersey. You know, I was like, Jesus Christ. Bo Bichette was funny last night, like, but not on purpose. Like, he was just like, I think he said he's all right. He's a little tired.
Now, do you like is gambling on the All-Star game like a thing?
Of course.
Yeah.
There's a stat, I think, and I don't have it in front of me. Look at the. I think the American League has won like 12 straight.
Yeah.
Get
it's
out of
12.
here.
Yeah, like
Really?
15 of the last 19.
Is that why they stopped
Last
doing
time
the
they won was
home
2013.
field advantage?
Check it out for me. Yeah, they can't do the home field advantage anymore.
2016 that ended, I think.
Yeah, that wasn't that was a failed idea by Bud Selig.
The
failed
last
idea.
All-Star game, I'm trying to think that I was really divested in. I think it was Robinson Cano hit the game winner, hit the home run.
Okay.
That was like maybe 2016. That was like when he was with the Mariners. He was with the Mariners.
Okay.
He was with the Mariners at the time. I think it was the last time I was invested. Like
So you're not gonna sit down and watch
No,
it?
I'm gonna watch the whole game.
Good
but
man.
that was the
I'm
first.
bowling tonight, but I'll have it on at the bowling alley.
The NL has lost the past 9
There you go.
All-Star games.
9 straight.
After winning 6 in a row. Wait, no. Excuse me.
They've lost
The
more than that.
the NL has
NFL
lost.
always on your mind.
The NL has lost 9 straight All-Star games and have only won 6 times in the past 36 years.
Yes.
Jesus.
Isn't that amazing?
That is incredible.
I love the NL tonight.
You love the NL tonight?
I do.
Wow, you're going against history.
Yep.
What's the number on it, Maz?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's going to be plus 110, minus 110.
It's even odds.
Yeah, even.
odds.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh.
And the over/under 7 flat.
Oh,
Over under 7. I'll take the NL and the under.
Yeah,
How about
right.
that?
Oh yeah. Obviously, it's an underplay.
Well, I'm definitely taking the NL and under because I'm taking Mookie Betts to be the
you
MVP.
go.
So
It's obviously an underplay because they're begging you to take the over. That's
Yes.
You just play the
What
number.
was last year? Like 40.
Right.
It was like 2-3.
I forget.
It was a low score last year. It was like 2-3.
Shohei, don't forget Shohei tonight, DH.
Oh, Shohei Ohtani.
That's the MVP.
Somebody somebody said a good stat about football. I mean, now you got me thinking about the NFL, talking about baseball and how in basketball and other times you have the best player usually can get somewhere. Like you have the best player in basketball, you're probably getting to a conference finals. Best player in football, you'll probably win a playoff game or you'll be in the playoffs. Hockey, probably similar thing. Shohei Ohtani is not only the best player in baseball right now, he may be the best player of all time when it's said and done. His team's lost 15 of the last 20.
Crazy, man.
Best player in the game.
Hard to even think about.
They've lost 15 of the last 20.
All right, Bray, get us out of here, man. Get us out of here. Get us
Look,
out of
man,
here.
good show, good stuff. Always fun to have a conversation. Remember, the conversation is important, but always hear people out. Damn good show.
Damn
All-Star
good
game.
show.
Enjoy it. Go have some fun. Do Maz a favor. When we come back on the show tomorrow and we talk some All-Star game in the beginning, know what happened last night so you
give
can
me
make
a little
feel
something.
good. Just give him a little bit, just a little nugget. Just a little nugget. For Mike Gentry, appreciate you joining the game. Parker,
Thanks for having
Uncle
me, boys.
Maz, my brother from another mother, Ryan Ermanni.
You know what time it is.
We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. See you later.
See ya.